So I was just thinking about what you could do with that fart stain laser, like pranks. Like you could reflect it all. If you could reflect it all over the place, you can like reflect it off this mirror, off that mirror, and then like try to get some fart stain on somebody's glasses. You know what I mean? Try to get some fart stain on like somebody's shirt or something like that. You know what I mean? Start pointing the laser around the room and shooting fart stain on your teacher's blouse or on her nose or something to get her on the tip of the nose or something like that. This fart stain laser. So there's some pranks that Bling Bling could do with the fart stain laser, that's for sure. So what else do we have here? I think I said this, but I'll say it again. Add effects chains to add effects chains on the gauntlet and on the where you're analyzing materials and measuring parameters and like resistance and resilience and tolerance and all this stuff that you're measuring. Um, you want to take it through the gauntlet and add effects chains to see results on different layers or on different levels or with different analyzers on a different spectralizer on something that visualizes something in a unique way, even though it's sort of the same thing. It just takes a unique way of visualizing it. So you have all these different ways of looking at something. So you take two things that look similar and then you add effects to them, and you see if there's any difference when you add effects. Like you add like if you're doing like music, it'd be like a reverb and a delay and a ring modulator. And then on the spectrograph, you'll notice the difference between these two sounds is on when you add the ring modulator to them, they affect the sound differently. You know, on spectral wise, or on the spectral graph or whatever, you notice that there's a different imprint of sound coming out of the ring modulator effect on these two similar materials that you thought were the same, but now you recognize where they're different and how they're different. So, um, so like with particles, you might want to try to like adjust the balance, make a gaseous area or an ionized area, or adjust the force, or add a force, or add a secondary force, or add a third force, or a different balance, or even like spin the particle, or if you're like if you're using force to push your particle, you might want to try attracting the particle or repelling the particle, and different ways of doing the same collision or whatever particle test you're doing. You want to come up with these different ways, and in doing so, this is kind of like adding effects. So like you might do something, then you might shoot a force at it, and then shoot another laser at it and try to spin it and see what the spectralizer spectrograph says about the particle, these two similar particles, if they're the same after all these effects are performed on them, right? And the order of the effects that you perform them on, like this affects the difference. So this isn't going to be a 10-minute video, I can already tell that right now because I got through that stuff so fast. But this is a general one. When I was talking about good, I mean, people need to do this like 80% of the time, 75% of the time, rather than like teasing and side winning and just kidding and joshing and, being sarcastic and stuff. You need to be like straightforward and like good 80% of the time. And what you need to understand about good is there's like a general category of good, like teamwork, family, participation, beliefs, spirituality, love. There's all these things in the category of good. There's all there's this whole world of positivity in the category of good, right? And you need to get yourself into that category. A lot of people need to do that first and foremost, is get themselves into the category of good. And when you get into that category, you need to do something good. This is what good is. It's category good, type good. Category good, type good. Exactly. So you need to do good. Like that's got to be like an 80% of the time. Like you got to make this play like 80% of the time. 80% of the things that you do should be like category 1, type 1, good. So it's kind of like it, and that's what it's like. It's kind of like the 1-1 play, where you can play 1 or you can play 2, or you can do the 1 then the 2, but you can also do the 1 then the 1. And that's a big play. That's a big tomahawk of a play that you don't necessarily see coming. That's like a super punch. Like you don't it's like pressing punch twice, and rather than getting 2 punches, getting 1 super punch type good, or category good type good. 1-1 play, the 1-1 play. So, and here's another sociological thing that I did. Like a lot of my interesting things is pointing out sociological defects with the machine head and how the machine head is run. And I built up an industry off of, you know, human rights against a machine head being run by somebody else, you know. And anyway, along with my sociology, one of the things I put forth and one of the things I discovered was 100% of the people agree with this. And I'm not talking about 95% of the people. I'm not talking about 62% or 37% of the people or 98.9% of the people. We don't even believe in that. What this is 100% of the people agree with this. Now, if you answered stupid, we just kicked out your answer, because that was the purpose of this this project, was to get 100% of the people. So something like kicking a nun in the head. Fundamentally, 100% of the people disagree with somebody kicking a nun in the head, whether you like it or not. You can say it's 97%, you can say it's 98.9%, but what this project did is that we ascertained that this is 100% of the people. 100% of the people agree that that is wrong. And what we did is we came up with all these categories that fundamentally 100% of the people on a regular basis disagree with 100%. Or on the other hand, this is what they do agree with 100% of the people 100% of the time on a regular basis. So this is like a great political move. Is like after you put together this catalog of content that 100% of the people agree with, you know, what you do is you do things that 100% of the people agree with all the time as a political move. You know what I mean? Exactly. It's an awesome political move because you pick something that people are fundamentally, whether they're being stupid or not about it is another thing. But fundamentally, 100% of the people agree with this, and you do that on a regular basis. Now, there's some popular majority ones that you might want to gamble on. There's ones that you agree, ones that you think are going to be 100% after we unravel the concept in its full definition. We're going to revert this 82% into 100%, you know, and that's where the game ends up being, because after everyone gets used to the 100%, but before everyone's used to the 100%, the game is on the 100%. So like doing the stuff that 100% of the people agree with all the time is like all you should do. You should not go out of those boundaries whatsoever. And then once everybody's doing 100% of the things 100% of the time, then you can start going, okay, well, this is like 80% of the people agree with this. That's a pretty popular thing. I think all people will end up agreeing with this, like, you know, and you can start gambling a bit. So this video wasn't quite 10 minutes, but it's got one of my big sociological plays. Like, I built up a huge empire on, well, one of the things I do at work is if you try really hard for me, you know, it's not that I don't give you a raise, but you get in trouble. You get in trouble for trying to bitch out the other employees. You know what I mean? So you have to have like permission to try really hard and get paid extra. See, what I don't want to do is create an environment, because I work less, because I like to work less and have more fun and stuff like that. So I don't want to create an environment where I'm pressuring the employees to work harder and to perform better. Now, if you want to do that, I'll still pay you and I'll still reward you in the way that you'd like to be rewarded for doing that and stuff. But fundamentally, one of the sociological things that I'm known for in the union is putting forth that you're not allowed to do that sort of thing. That you're not allowed to go militant on, you know, social atmospheres at work for competitivity and stuff like that. Like, I don't do that sort of deal, right? So, like, that was one of the things I put forward. This 100% thing is another thing that I put forward. I always put forward things that are, like, very individualistic, individuals' rights of the individual. That's even a political thing that I have, that no groups are allowed to violate the rights of an individual. But anyway, that's it.